Hey, what's up, everybody? Fred Minnick here, and today I'm going to review this Normandie release from Bardstown Bourbon Company. Now, this is a blend, or rather, it's a finished product in Calvados, and I'll get into the details. But this is the box that was like sent to me. You know, it's pretty cool. Pretty excited to taste this. So this is going to be exciting for me. And there's obviously a beautiful war connection there, World War II connection there, like remembering the wonderful, great Americans who fought at Normandy. And the Bardstown Bourbon Company is heavily involved with veteran organizations. And kind of speaking of that, I've got a new book coming out in February. And as many of you may know, I am an Iraq war veteran, and I had a really difficult time recovering from the war. And one of the things that kind of helped me get through that process was kind of finding myself in therapy and finding a career in bourbon. And so that's what this book's about. It's a memoir of my life. I pour my heart and soul out into Bottom Shelf, how a forgotten brand of bourbon saved one man's life. I'm very excited about this book. I cannot wait to share it with you. And I have an event coming up on December 5th. It's a pre-sale event with Talk Shop Live. So I'm very honored to be a part of the Talk Shop Live network. And some of the greatest authors in the world have been invited there. And they, figured they would go to the bottom of the barrel and, bring me on. So I'm excited to do that. So I got a link in the bio. If you'd like to get a signed copy of Bottom Shelf, hit that link from Talk Shop Live. And I hope to see you there. And, who knows? It'll be a good time. Also, December 5th is Repeal Day. So it should be one heck of a time. So a little bit about this product is so I'm going to give you the skinny as much as I can on it before I get into tasting it. So it is 104.2 proof. It's a blend of bourbon with finishes from Calvados brandy casks. The blend is between 11 and 12-year-old bourbons, and it spent 28 months in Calvados casks. After the Calvados casks, they were finished in medium toast American oak barrels, around 3,000 bottles, and it's released this month in November, and it is selling for, let's see what the price is. I feel like an auctioneer here going on. Looks like it's going at Total Wine. It's $139. It looks like Sealbox has it for $159. A couple other places have it for north of $200. So it looks like you're going to be able to get it between $140 and like $250 kind of price range. So let's see what this is all about. Ooh, right. Something fell out of the box. That happens from time to time. Oh, that's cool. Like a little, I don't know. It's like a little pick there. I've got, let's see if there's anything else on this card that they sent me. So you can take a look at this this cool little card that's in the box. It's in the little media kit. Customs Declaration. Let's see. In the 1600s, ministers. Okay, so it's giving a little history here. So I'll pop that up here. I guess they had, I don't know if this is part of, being fancy, or if they actually were required to drop this in here. My guess it's just being fancy. So, Calvados is a beautiful apple brandy. So it's probably the best. If you've ever had Calvados, like that's really old, and had a chance to taste some of that stuff out of Normandy, and that doesn't make it over here to the United States. I'm just telling you, if it was in large quantities, and you could get it on the regular, you would probably stop being a bourbon fan. Like, Calvados is so good, and bourbon drinkers tend to love it because it carries a lot of the same notes. They typically are fruity, obviously, and there's a lot of sweetness there, and just typically a really, really balanced, complex. We'll try to put that in the visual for you. Very complex brandy, typically. Oh man. So I should just start with, look at that color. I mean, that color is dark. This is not, I've got light coming from both directions here. That is raw color. Look at that. That's damn near red. Have you ever seen one this dark? I mean, it's 11 to 12 years old, 104 proof. I can't think of many things that are that dark. Good Lord. That's like red. I grew up right down the street from my house was the Canadian River in Oklahoma. Reddest damn river you'd ever seen. It was pure mud. Like, it just muckety muck mud everywhere. And it might be redder than the red clay there in my home state of Oklahoma. Which, by the way, go Pokes. This is gorgeous. On the nose, it is layered. Absolutely layered. You can't score or judge a product by nose alone, right? So you got to taste it. You got to see how the finish is. But if I'm going to tell you that this nose is like walking into a French confectionery. Like, so there's like baking smells over here. There's an apple strudel over here. There's a peach something over there. And there's like ginger. There's, it's so layered on the nose. I almost am afraid to taste it and fear that it won't be as good as the nose. And so when a nose is this good, so rounded, so complex with all kinds of layers of sweetness and fruitiness and that kind of like ginger, which, ginger kind of falls in like for some people, like they think of ginger as crystallized ginger. I think of ginger as like kind of being like a spice, like some people like the sweeter gingers, but I think of ginger as being spicy. So this is kind of like that, like a nice, rich ginger spice thing on the nose. And there's another note in here I'm going to throw out there, and it's the holiday season, right? We're coming up on it, so you might see it from time to time, and that is cardamom. Cardamom is like in a lot of cookies that you're going to get in the holidays. And just staying with that kind of, my initial thought is like you're walking into like a French bakery or French confection area where you go in there and there's all those sweets and all those treats, and you just know that you're going to walk out of there like weighing 10 pounds more. All right, going to put it on the palate. Well, wow. This is pretty spectacular. Now, I like to tell you what part of the palate I feel it on before I kind of break down the notes. I feel it on the tip of my tongue, in the middle toward the back, all the way on the back, on the sides, and just kind of tickles underneath my jawline just a little bit. It's not like all encompassing, like coming down, but there's just like a little bit of tickle, as it kind of like hits the sides on its way down. But I'm going to taste it again and kind of try to describe the flavors that I'm getting, because it is a flavor super highway. This is phenomenal. Man, this is phenomenal. And before you ask, is it worth $150? Is it worth $200? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'm going to try and buy a bottle myself, because that one will not last long in the Minnick household. Boy, if Jacqueline gets a taste of this, gonna be gone. Okay. The most dominant note here is apricot. Apricot is a very common note in brandies. It's especially common in cognac. It's there in Calvados a lot, and you see it in bourbon quite a bit. But if you look in the European tasting notes, when it comes to brandies, they will reference dried apricot quite a bit. And this is just absolutely layered with like an apricot jelly, something that you would put on like a biscuit over tea when you have tea, like if you're in England, which for a short period of time, like I used to go to a lot of tea houses. If you can go to a proper tea house, you will not find a better like scone in your life. Like coffee shops don't even touch what tea houses can do with scones and like these little bitty edge sandwiches. Like I would just go there for these little treats and these little sandwiches. By the way, that happened to coincide with the time I gained about 20 pounds. That would take me a good while to lose. Anyway, I digress. So the prominent note here is apricot. After that, it does come with some of that spice. Now that cardamom is there, that ginger is there, but I find a beautiful like black pepper note just coming on strong, kind of like right underneath there. The notes that I don't get that you would typically associate with any kind of bourbon is caramel. But here's the thing. If you are, typically I say like, hey, a bourbon should, a really great bourbon will present caramel, vanilla, this, and this. But when you introduce like a secondary barrel like Calvados, we really should not be putting it into like the conversations of bourbon, right? It's a special barrel finish. And the special barrel for 28 months absolutely did its job. I mean, just absolutely incredible. All right, so straight bourbon, and they always put it on the label, right? Straight bourbon finished in Calvados barrels for 28 months, and then 4 months in toasted oak. And look, I'm not a fan of that. I just think we should have like a whole different category for it. We call it whiskey. But those rants are for another time. I think for now, it's important that I tell you how good this is. This is phenomenal. It is complex. It is absolutely layered in all sorts of fruit, with apricot being the driver. So if you don't like apricot, man, probably steer north of this. But it is so good. I'm going to taste it again. I kind of gave you some notes. I'm going to look for some more. I have a feeling there are quite a bit more here. I'm going to try and deliver that for you. But this is one where I don't think a YouTube video of me tasting it does it justice. It's one where I'd rather kind of be alone with my thoughts for a little bit and in a notebook and writing it down, kind of like the old days. But ain't nobody got time for that. All right, I'm going to come back to a note I had on the nose as well. Peach. This has like a peach cobbler to it as well, and with those like little hard, crunchy, syrupy, sugary kind of attachments to the peach. Like I don't know about you, but whenever I'm at a barbecue, someone's always got a big tray of peach cobbler. Get a big old scoop of that out, and it's like it's money, and that flavor if you've had it before. So I would say that's the primary, kind of secondary, third flavor that I get in. But again, staying in that sweet category, and we're staying fruity. There is a couple notes of spice, but this is a predominantly fruit-forward American whiskey, and it is finishing still on my palate. It's absolutely delicious. It's beautiful, and I would rank this with amongst the highest things I have tasted all year. Absolutely delicious, and I am really glad that this came out this year because, whew, this kind of stuff is kind of the future of American whiskey. We can have the debates on labeling, but this kind of flavor profile right here, that can help change the game of the future of American whiskey. I'm not kidding you. It's that good. Anyway, that's going to do it for this little review. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not already, like and subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend. Been at it for a long time. I'm coming up on my 20th year of covering American whiskey, and I'm excited to share my life story with you in my new book, Bottom Shelf. So hit that link in the description if you'd like a signed copy and want to come hang out with me on December 5th on Talk Shop Live. That's going to do it out there. Be safe. And remember, vodka sucks. Cheers.